A 5 on your side in storm alert. Here's the first warning of the day so far for our area. It's a severe thunderstorm warning running until a little after 2 o'clock this afternoon for this cell that's just crossed the Missouri River and is pushing now northeast. It's into Montgomery County. It's going to clip the extreme western portions of Warren County and then head on up into Lincoln County. Hail has been the big issue with this particular storm system as it's sliding on through. And right now that hail core looks like it's just east of Highway 19 here and just off to the west of Warren County. But if we get in really tight, the areas that are most likely going to see some of this larger hail, there's not a lot of populated areas out this way, but that's State Highway Y going west through Warren County. And this is just off to the south and southwest of Jonesburg. Now, let's kind of do a timeline. These things are moving. Take a look. They are really flying. 65 to 70 miles per hour is your time frame on this. That's how fast they're moving. So if we give you a time frame of when that larger hail might impact your area, and we're kind of trying to hone it in as best we can, this would include Truxton, Millwood, and up to Silex. So, and eventually this, if it holds together, and there's really not any reason to believe it won't, this is going to slide up into southern portions of Pike County as well. So again, there is one severe thunderstorm warning. It does include, for our area at this point, Lincoln County as well as western Warren County, and it includes a good chunk of Montgomery County as well. But Gasconade County, the strongest part of this storm, has now moved out. Now around the rest of the metro area, because I know everybody's wondering what exactly is going on with these storms. Here's the thing. We have this first round that we're dealing with right now, and we'll kind of put that into motion. You can see you've had a couple of cells out by themselves trying to develop ahead of the line. And when you see that cluster of cloud-to-ground lightning in there that you're really seeing picking up approaching Highway 70, that's a good indication that we're dealing with some hail there. But again, that's moving rapidly northeast. So if anything is going to come into the metro St. Louis area, it's going to have to develop down here towards Sullivan and east of Rolla. Everything we're seeing now will stay to the west of St. Louis until this whole line nudges off to the east. They are moving so fast right now as they move to the northeast. You've had some storms up in Bowling Green, probably had some pea-sized hail. These storms that are down around the Vichy area, they're probably producing a little bit of pea-sized hail as well. And the storms that are in western Franklin County could be producing a little bit of pea-sized hail. But the only one that's producing severe weather, best we can tell, is that one that's just now into Montgomery County, going into western, far western portions of Warren County and heading on up towards Truxton and Hawk Point. So you folks be prepared for hail quarters to maybe up to a 50-cent piece as it's working on to the north and to the northeast at about 70 miles per hour. They shouldn't last all that long. They're coming in and getting out pretty quickly, but that's the line that we're looking at. Let's go out to Kansas City here. I'm going to see if I can pop on the Kansas City radar for you, and we'll see if we can get a look at that. And these storms out here are pretty impressive, from Chillicothe down to just southwest of Carrollton. But again, they're moving more north than they are to the east. That would be the second round, and odds are most of that will kind of rotate around this upper level system and swing by to the northwest of St. Louis. So, you know, there's really, we got to get what we're going to get, I think, out of this first round. And once we get that through, we'll see if anything's left to get in here later on this evening. But odds are the conditions aren't going to be overly favorable for us to see a lot later on. Right now, you have that line coming in, stretching from Pike County down to Phelps County. And the strongest storm is the one we were just talking about here, the one that right now is moving its way across southeastern portions of Montgomery County. And that's where our hail is. So it looks like that hail is just to the southwest of Jonesburg. That's going to cause some problems out along Interstate 70 when that moves through for sure. And you see the cloud-to-ground lightning in there as well. So it'll probably cross just west, the hail core just west of Jonesburg and out towards High Hill. So that's really the hail core. That's the main reason. Even though there are some winds with this, it really doesn't look like the winds per se are the biggest problem with this storm. Certainly as you look at this, it doesn't show up as being the biggest problem, but when we look back, you know, at the intensity, we definitely are looking at the potential for some hail up to the size of quarters, maybe 50-cent piece, and that's probably going to be in that area around or just west of Jonesburg here for the next little bit. Rest of the metro area, we're just going to watch this line as it continues to slide on in from the west. Now, we're already well into the 80s in St. Louis. It is a little more humid today. You can feel the humidity in the air, but because the air is, we're getting what we call deep mixing the air, there's a lot of wind with this system. And aloft, it's not as moist as you might think. So some of that drier air is being pulled down around St. Louis, and we've seen our dew point actually drop off a little bit at Lambert. We'll see if it can recover. But also, that being said, that dry air aloft tends to make it a little more unstable at times and can create additional severe weather concerns. So again, looking out to the west, we'll watch that second area. The only warning, severe thunderstorm warning for hail, is in effect, and maybe some gusty winds 50 to 60 miles per hour for this area of western portions of Warren County and to southwestern portions of Lincoln County. Millwood, Hawk Point, Truxton, you're right in that area. In fact, there it looks like the hail core is very close to Jonesburg now as it's sliding off to the east. A quick look out in the Chesterfield camera right now. You can see it is getting darker off to the west of St. Louis. We've had some sunshine, but those storms are beginning to build. Downtown, it's still much, much brighter in downtown St. Louis at this point. So we still have a decent amount of what we would consider, you know, instability fueling these storms. There's your storm that's severe out by Jonesburg in Montgomery County, western, northwestern portions of Warren County, and into southwestern portions of Lincoln County. If this thing holds together, we'll see this warning extended a little farther north and east as time, you know, goes on. Law enforcement out there is reporting some heavy hail in the Jonesburg area. You know, so, and that's what we're seeing based on the radar. You know, that's what we're going to deal with, I think, for most of us through the next few hours. We just got to watch this line. It'll produce some hail at times. Occasionally that hail will get a little larger, may produce some wind gusts. Not sure there's going to be enough spin in the atmosphere for us to really kick off tornadoes here locally. But as we go up into northeast Missouri, this area that's up here in northeast Missouri ahead of that second batch, you know, Kirksville over to Quincy and then going up to Keokuk in this area here over northeast Missouri, west central Illinois, that second band of storms out here is what we'll watch for the big tornado threat for those areas of northeast Missouri. Not so much so for St. Louis, we don't think. And things may stabilize a little bit once we get this band through. Problem is this band's going to be coming through, you know, setting us up right around and during the evening rush hour. So even if it doesn't produce severe weather, it doesn't take a lot to slow things down on your rush hour for the drive home. Big hail core right now is pretty close to Jonesburg. Haven't had a size on that hail from the emergency managers out there, but just that heavy hail was being reported in that area. We just don't know what size, but we can guesstimate that maybe quarter to up to 50-cent piece hail, and it's headed right for Hawk Point at this juncture. Just kind of looking at how that's been moving, and it may clip Troy, honestly. Let's just move this down a little bit. I'm going to stop it and go right there. If we just put a target on this, and again, it's coming fast. So if we just kind of target where the heaviest hail is and it's moving northeast, it may stay just west of Troy, but you know, if you got a chance up in the Troy area to get your car in the garage or get it under cover, I certainly would take that opportunity right now. Again, this is our only severe threat at the moment. The storm that's coming out of Montgomery County into western and northwestern portions of Warren County has large hail with it. Otherwise, these are strong but not necessarily severe thunderstorms as they continue to track off towards the northeast right now. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation through the remainder of the afternoon, of course. We do have our streaming weather loop. You can also find that. That's separate. It doesn't have any audio with it. But, you know, we're here in the Weather Center, and your Weather First team is just kind of monitoring everything for you this afternoon. Tracy Hinson's out in the storm tracker. Gary Frank and Jim Castillo and I were here, and our whole digital team watching everything too. So as we get more reports, we will, you know, keep you updated throughout the afternoon. As these storms get closer to St. Louis, we'll see how much intensity they can maintain. But again, the greatest threat, you know, not to alarm anybody, because we don't like to do that, but the greatest threat for severe weather does appear to be to the north and west of St. Louis. Not that we're going to not see a few scattered strong to severe thunderstorms in the metro area, but the better chances with that second line will scoop by north of Columbia up towards Kirksville and then up towards the Quincy area, to not include St. Louis. All right, we'll let you go for now, and we'll be back with more if we need to be, as we work our way through this potentially active weather afternoon, weather-wise in St. Louis.